And you know what, you ought to consider, because I know sometimes you get here Wednesday, and I'll share this publicly, there's not very many here for the rehearsal. You guys come back on Saturday, and, you know, kind of fighting the Saturday time, and, you know, your Saturday's your day, and all right, y'all get here.
Yes.
And you know what, I was sharing with them that the words that they give, just before we came out here, the words that they give in song is going to edify and build up somebody out there.
All right.
So the devil is going to fight against that. He's going to fight against y'all, you know, to get here, to sing this song, sing that note. But man, when you put it all together, it's to glorify God. Just be aware of the devil's devices, man. Just press on through. Amen? Amen. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this part of our worship. Lord, we thank you for what we've experienced so far. Thank you for the praise team, your Holy Spirit. Now, Lord, we come to the Word of God. Pray now, Lord, for your anointing, that what is said be that which will edify your people. And then, Lord, if somebody is in our midst that doesn't know Christ, that they would hear the gospel message and give their life, surrender themselves to you, O Lord. Lord, through the feeble clay, Lord, stammering tongue, use me today with your anointing. Lord, that your voice can be heard. And help, and strength, everything I need to glorify you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Before we turn to the scripture, I almost forgot. One of our newest members, Sister Tracy Bradford, is here. So at the end of communion, we'll have you come up here. And I know they held on to you for now. I ain't even looking. We'll have you come up here. See, don't learn from the rest of them. Don't learn from some. They already know. Just kidding. No, come on. We're going to come on up and hug you into the fellowship. Amen. If you have your Bible, stand with me as we honor the Word of God. Turn to the book of Romans, chapter 11. Romans, chapter 11. Several verses that we're going to read. Romans chapter 11. And Bill was talking about, about just, all this killing and stuff going around. Seeing that stuff happening in London. And it's just chaos everywhere. And I have the same exact sentiments. Come quickly, Lord Jesus. Amen. Romans chapter 11, let's read verse 1. I say then, God has not rejected his people, has he? May it never be. For I too am an Israelite, a descendant of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. We go over to verse 11. I say then, they did not stumble so as to fall, did they? May it never be. But by their transgression, salvation has come to the Gentiles to make them jealous. And then drop down to verse 17. But if some of the branches were broken off, and you, being a wild olive, were grafted in among them, and became partaker with them of the rich root of the olive tree, do not be arrogant toward the branches. But if you are arrogant, remember that it is not you who supports the root, but the root supports you. You will say then, branches were broken off so that I might be grafted in. Quite right. They were broken off for their unbelief. You stand by your faith. Do not be conceited, but fear. For if God did not spare the natural branches, he will not spare you either. Behold then, the kindness and severity of God to those who fail. Severity, but to you, God's kindness. If you continue in his kindness, otherwise you also will be cut off. I want to speak to you from this thought: cut off but not abandoned.
All right.
Cut off but not abandoned. I have to be honest, these last 3 chapters or let me say it this way, chapters 9, 10, and 11 of the book of Romans are very challenging for me. Take a lot of study. And I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to Romans 12, verses 1 and 2. Therefore, there is now no condemnation to those who are in Christ. Or I urge you, brethren, by the mercy of God, present your bodies as a living sacrifice. I'm thinking Romans 8, 1. But I'm looking forward to next week, Romans 12, 1 and 2. But chapters 9, 10, and 11 have been a challenge. Because what they do for us is they talk about a nation that some of us may not be so familiar with, and that is the nation of Israel. And it's funny that, not funny, but it's maybe in God's timing that we would even look at this, and I cannot even scratch the surface on eschatology as it relates to Israel. All I know is this, and I can share with you this, is that God has a plan for the nation of Israel. I always told you, if you've been here, to watch, when you're watching the news, pay attention to what happens in the Middle East. Pay attention to what happens with Israel. It's one of the smallest countries over there, but man, they're one of the mightiest ones. When they start fighting against Israel, they'll shoot up one missile and knock out everything. But that's because ultimately they're God's chosen people.
All right.
Paul finished last week in chapter 10 verse 21, where he says, but as for Israel, he says, all the day long I've stretched out my hands to a disobedient and an obstinate people. Israel rejected Christ. And as he closes that, he says, God has had outstretched arms for the nation of Israel. To a rebellious, that's what obstinate means. Remember, a $50 word for rebellious. And to a disobedient people. So now when he moves to verse 1 of chapter 11, he asks the question, has God rejected my people? He uses one of his words that he uses throughout the book of Romans, may it never be, in the New American Standard. King James maybe says, God forbid. Remember Romans 6, shall you continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid, may it never be. So he asks another question. I say then, God has not rejected his people, has he? He says, may it never be. Here's the deal. You got to understand what it means when the text says he has rejected them or he has cut them off. For us, in our ear, it sounds like God has cut them off. He has rejected them, no longer to have anything to do with them. But the Greek word itself has the idea to be set aside. It has nothing to do with having destroyed them. It has nothing to do with saying, I am done with them, I've turned my back on them. But it has everything to do with it. And if you read the rest of the text, read all of it, because we won't go through every verse today, this morning, but read it this afternoon, you'll see where God, he covers their eyes, he darkens their eyes so they can't see, so they don't understand these things. But the point is that he has not cut them off to where he's not going to have any dealings with them anymore, but he has cut them off for a time to bring salvation to us Gentiles.
All right.
Now it comes as, and I'm giving you a history lesson a bit, it comes as a result of their disobedience. Because instead of accepting Christ, what they did was they wanted to gain access to God by the works of the law. And Paul comes in and says, no, it's by faith and faith in Christ alone. So because of that, because they rejected the Messiah, he has cut them off. He has set them aside for a time. So now Paul comes on the scene and he says, has God rejected them? And basically Paul says, no. Well, why not? Because in short, sometimes it kind of looks like he has rejected his people. It sometimes looks like they are cut off. They have to deal with so much hell over there in the Middle East. You know, they got to deal with so much stuff over there. They fought for their territory. But you need to read the whole history of it. Man, the Bible is so replete in this, and that they were spread out, they were separated, they were dispersed. But then I believe it was in 1948, I hope I got my years right, but there came a time when they all came back together as one nation. Only God can do that, baby. When they're spread all over the place, all over the face of the earth, but then God brings them back together and then establishes them again as a nation. Only God can do that. And he's done it for a reason. But Paul asked the question, have they been cut off? And basically he says no. What is his proof that they have not been cut off?
All right.
It's in the text.
All right.
He says, for I am too an Israelite and a descendant of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. In other words, he's saying, I am a Jew myself. So to answer my own question, have they been cut off because they have been disobedient and because they have been obstinate? Have they been cut off? He said no, because if they had been cut off, I would have been cut off. But let me tell you something. He said, I'm saved, and if he could say it in our vernacular today, I'm sanctified and I'm filled with God's Holy Spirit. Paul says no, God has not rejected them. God has only cut them. He's not cut them off to where he no longer wants to destroy them, but he has just set them aside.
All right.
And Paul says, I am proof that God ain't through fooling with them.
Yeah.
Some of y'all in here, some of us in here, maybe we've experienced a cut off life where we didn't think about God. We rejected God. I ain't gonna get no help. We rejected God, and you've been disobedient, you've been obstinate, you've been rebellious, whatever you want to call it. You've been all of the above, but then God showed up in his grace and his mercy one day. Your parents might say, ain't no help with that boy. Your mama and them might say, ain't no help with that girl. They ain't never gonna get it right. But one day the grace of God showed up at your door, and when God's grace showed up at your door, just like at Paul on the Damascus road, it was to show proof that God was still dealing with and working with the nation of Israel, the Jewish people. So Paul says, I'm proof. Some folk go around here talking about the black folk are a cursed nation or a cursed people. And it sure looks like it sometimes, but look at here. You need to go stand in the mirror.
Yeah.
You black,
Yeah.
you saved,
Yeah.
you sanctified. Okay, you might carry a gun, but you ain't shooting at everybody. Okay, you got it in here this time. If you do, come right up here behind about me, okay? I'll be stuttering up here. Oh, you ought to be proof. Just like Paul. Paul was the proof to the Jewish people. No, God ain't through with us yet. Because even when I was rebellious, even when I was killing those Christians, even when I thought I was doing what God wanted me to do, guess what? God stopped by, shined the light from heaven, and saved my soul. So Paul said, that's proof. And guess what? For some application, you prove.
Yeah.
When people curse God around you, and I don't mean use it in a profanity, but when they deny God and they curse God and they refuse to acknowledge God before you as if God don't exist, you ought to be the proof that they can see that God exists. Because it should have been a change in your life. It should have been a transformation in your life. And because of that, you are proof. You don't believe me. You don't believe me. Hold your place. Hold your place. Text I always like to look. Write it down. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 15 and 16. Reads this way. It is a trustworthy statement, deserving full acceptance, that Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, among whom I am foremost. I like the way King James says, I am the chief of all. I'm numero uno.
Yeah.
I was the best at it, what Paul was saying. Okay? Okay, y'all so sanctified. Say so long, you can't remember. Verse 16, yet for this reason, listen, yet for this reason, I found mercy.
Yeah.
So that me as the foremost or the chief, Jesus Christ might demonstrate his perfect patience as an example for those who would believe in him for eternal life. So guess what, baby? You're a walking, talking Bible that represents who God is. And God has changed your life not just to make it better. God has saved you that you, the rascal you used to be back in the day. Oh, come on now. Green Duck, 69. What God don't remember none of the outline because it's just all over. This is a tough text for me. Another thing I see in this text was that the Jews' blessings became a burden to them. Some of the things that kind of helped set them off, cut them off a little bit. Verse 11, verse 9. And David says, let their table become a snare and a trap, a stumbling block, and a retribution to them. The key word is table. Commentators refer to this word table as blessing. And so what they're saying is, they're quoting, he says, and their table, their blessings, became a snare to them. Their blessings became a burden. What blessing? Well, the blessing of being the chosen people of God and giving the religious sacrifice so that they could be the ones who would come to know God. But the point was, they would have come to know God in such a way that it would spread out to the other nations. So the blessing was that God would reveal himself to them, that they would give forth the sacrifices, and God would bless them and use them in miraculous ways, but then with the whole point and purpose of them sharing those blessings and sharing the goodness of God to let the other nations know that there is a God and above him there's no other.
Amen.
But the blessing of serving him got in the way. Because as the law came in, they got so focused on doing this thing and that thing, and don't do this and don't do that, and do this and do that, that they forgot the whole purpose, that it had nothing to do with religion, but it had everything to do with a relationship. And they should have been able to foresee that Christ was coming to tear down the wall of partition and to tear down the law that you and I can't fulfill, not for one moment. They should have been able to see that God was not into religion, but they got stuck by the blessing of being able to sacrifice and say, I did this and I don't do that and I don't do this, so much so that it became a burden and a snare. And they missed it. Because it was by faith and not by the works. Your blessings can be a burden to you. You know what? If you're not careful, the blessing of grace can be a burden. Because you'll be so filled up with grace, and I know we're named grace, and I did that. I know it's so common, but this world needs more grace. And you can, be filled up with so much grace that when you sin, you act like, I'm covered by grace, and you are.
Have mercy.
But just because you filled up with grace, don't give you a license. Grace doesn't say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. But grace says, my God, I didn't have to do anything. But believe that Jesus Christ died, that he died on the cross. He bore my sins. And by believing in him, I'm going to heaven. But not only that, I can have a right relationship with him. That ought to make you say, you know what, God, come on in, live your life through me. Change me, mold me, make me to be what all you have me to be. And guess what? That whole list of the law that you were looking for, that you could not obey, God will change your heart before you know it. Some of that stuff you used to do, you don't want to do it no more. But even if you fall back into it, grace can become a burden to us. We get blessed with stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. We get a new house, we get a new car, you got some new clothes. Shoes. I confess to y'all situation with shoes. We go to the store after church to the Price Chopper. Remember last week? And I gotta watch my boo because she's gonna run on my shoes with that man. And that's just become a burden. You just come out of church, girl, you sing, boy, you preach. Okay, I'm just exaggerating. We compliment each other. And we go to the store, and you bump my skirt, I should bump my shoes gonna last me the rest of my life. about you. But anyway, but the point is, you know, blessings become a burden. We get, God blesses us with stuff. Pretty soon, we got to work extra Sunday. And I know there's some of us got to work on Sunday. I ain't talking about that. But when we volunteer and get the overtime and we can't make it on Wednesday, then your blessing becomes a burden.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why God, you can't hear from God, your ears are stopped up.
Yeah.
You can't see what God is doing and somebody else doing something. Next thing you know, you just haul off into something else. All because the blessing, the table, has become a burden. I mean, clothes, you get mad because they don't fit no more. You know what the solution is? You just got to buy some new. That's big, you know. Their blessings became a burden. You know, God bless you with a spiritual gift, don't get conceited about it.
Amen.
Don't get conceited about it. I know this is a new age with the technology of Facebook and the live stuff, and I really thought about doing some live stuff, but I gotta get more creative, you know. But then on the other hand, I'm kind of a humble guy. I'm cool, you know, unless, you know, maybe I get some more time to learn how to do that, and I'll start doing some live stuff, you know, get ready to get down with the word, get ready to get down with the gospel. Hold on, y'all, get ready to get down with the gospel preaching, okay? Catch me in about 30, click. You know what I'm saying? It's a humble experience for me. Lord, help me to say something to encourage us.
Yeah.
Versus, I'm getting ready to get down with the gospel. What they call it? I forgot what I heard yesterday. Get ready around with the gospel stuff, some gospel message, you know. Man, I don't know. Maybe it's just a little bit sacred for me. I'm not against others. You know, if God's giving you the gift, don't get conceited.
Right.
Okay, keep moving. Here's another thing I see this. They stumbled, but they didn't fall.
Yeah.
Verse 11. I say then, they did not stumble so as to fall, did they?
Yeah.
Interesting words, man. Because when I first read the text and began to write some notes down, I said, okay, this is bothering. I'm struggling with this. Because they were cut off. He's talking about putting the branches back in. He's talking about here, did they stumble? They didn't fall.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, okay, this sounds like losing salvation and all that kind of stuff. And this goes against what I've been taught and trained and what I understand the word of God to say. So I'm like, oh Lord, how do I, you know, but you got to get down with it, man. You got to work on this. You can't come up with no Saturday night special, Romans 9, 10, 11. Man. And so verse 11, then he says, I say then, they did not stumble so as to fall, did they? In other words, he says, they may have stumbled, but they didn't fall. And what he's saying is they stumbled, but the falling part would have been God destroying them.
Right. All right.
That's why the cut off is a set aside and not a cut off, I'm done with you.
Right.
And people look at God as if he is that kind of a God. That God just ain't going to have nothing to do with you and he's that and cut you off because you sinned and you've lived a life of sin. But you need to understand that's why Christ came, and that's what Paul is trying to get them to see.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Lord.
Now, don't get it twisted, and I'm getting ready to talk about that too, but we got to be careful as we live under grace to think living any old kind of way still warrants me the blessings of God. Oh, I said something. Yeah.
All right now.
Because we have people, not in here, but we have people that live like the devil and want the blessings of God. I'm moving ahead in the message. And God sometimes will bless them with it. But then after a time, when you wonder why God ain't answering your prayer, it's because maybe you ought to take some reflection. And I'm not giving you a list of don't do this and don't do that, but doggone it, in the Word of God, it tells us some stuff that you and I ought not be doing.
Amen.
Y'all ain't be going home. I ain't be going home talking about y'all this afternoon around my table. Just a little side note. Something I heard people, church people do. Y'all can laugh. We're good critiquers. Monday morning until you get out on the field.
Yeah.
The quarterback should have did this, and the quarterback should have did that. You put the helmet on. You put the pads on. You let 11 guys, 10 guys come running after you and see how easy that is. You try to jump over guys that are 6'9" and 6'11". You try to shoot the ball. You think you're going in for a layup, and here come a long arm. You try to do that. All right. What was that? And it's a different story. we talk about it. Praise thing. Bless my heart. I can't sing. But here's what he said. They didn't stumble. I mean, they stumbled, but they did not fall. Listen, God is not into destroying them.
Yeah.
But God is into restoring. God is into restoration. Okay? And we got to start telling people, Bill was right, we got to start telling some folks that God is not in, he's not up there with a cosmic fly swatter ready to swat you because you've done wrong. Yeah. Or because they have been living a life that's been out of the will of God. But the point of it is God wants to restore. You've been stumbling all your life.
Yes.
But he says they didn't fall.
Yeah.
In other words, I always say this, God didn't give up on them.
Yeah.
And he still has a plan for them, for the Israelite, for the Jewish people. Now, there is a remnant, which shows us as well. There's a remnant that believes. There's a group of them that believes. Paul's in that number. But eventually, God's going to work in all of them. And so he hasn't given up on them. But here it is. Let me get back to the point. They stumbled, and they didn't fall. God will use different means to bring about restoration, to get you to a point of restoration, rather. Okay? So what he does with them in that text, in verse 11, he says, may it never be. He says, but by their transgression, salvation has come to the Gentiles to make them jealous. So what God did was, said, fine, you want to reject me. I'm going to take my message over to the Gentile people. And as I bring it to the Gentile people, it is doing it in the hopes that they're going to make you jealous. Right. That you'll be jealous because I have poured my grace upon them and taken it from you. You know, it's kind of like when your dad or your mom, you're a kid, and they play, they give something nice to the kid next door. Maybe a toy that you ain't played with in forever and a day, and then they decide you ain't using it, so we're gonna. And so what happens is the kid in you gets jealous. Yeah. Because your mom or your daddy kind of played a favorite to the people over there. And so now you come back home and you say, okay, I bet you pull out all your toys that you ain't playing with, because you want to make sure mama and daddy don't give away all my toys. In the same way, God hoped that as he would show his grace to the Gentile people, that the Jewish people would get jealous and they would see it. And it would begin to raise up in them. And so that's what God was using in this situation to help bring them to a place of restoration. And I don't know where you are in your life where God is trying to bring you to a place in restoration. Sometimes God brings drought situations into our life where we don't hear from God. We wonder where God is. We know him. We know we're saved. But my God, Lord, where are you at? I've been walking with you for years. God, I don't see you. God, why am I going through this? Maybe it's something to draw you closer to him. Yes. I'm going to tell you, it ain't nothing like trouble that makes you fall on your knees. I used to think my knees hurt. And I told myself, I can't pray on my knees no more. And then, you know, I got some little situation going, and don't worry about it. I got something going on. I said, oh no. And so we moved the house around back upstairs and all that stuff. And so shoot, I'm on my knees, baby. And now listen, I ain't saying nothing. You can't get on your knees hurt, that's fine. But I'm just saying, it made me start praying fervently. Yes. And there's stuff that'll come up in our life that will make us, not so much as we have just messed up the fellowship with God, maybe so, but also that we can draw closer to God, because you can get so comfortable and complacent with your relationship with God that you take it for granted. You don't pray as hard till the doctor tells you something.
Yeah.
Until they mess up your money at work.
Yeah, mercy. That'll do it. Ooh.
Until the spouse say, God forbid, but I'm out of here. Kids say, you know what? I'm grown.
Yeah.
I'm out. I remember my youngest daughter told me that. I said, you know what? You are exactly right. I get upset on this. Thank you. Okay, come on, hang on, sorry. Need a little therapy right there. They stumble. Jealousy, the jealousy was to bring them back, to draw them near them. Sometimes stuff comes in our lives,
Amen.
pushes us to God, because what? He hadn't cut us off. He hadn't abandoned us. But he's trying to get your attention. Emptiness was mine in 84, December of 84. I was as empty as I could be. I wasn't rich or nothing. I mean, I could have used more money. That might have helped, but really didn't. But emptiness, just that void in my life, says, man, God, where are you? I need something. And that emptiness drew me closer to the Lord. Here's my last point. And it's what I said a little bit earlier. Don't get it twisted. In verse 17, he says, but if some of the branches were broken off, and you being a wild one were grafted in among them and became partaker with them of the rich root of the olive tree, do not be arrogant toward the branches. But if you are arrogant, remember that it is not you who supports the root, but the root supports you. We're going to celebrate this next week as we look at Romans 12, 1 and 2. Therefore, I urge you by the mercy of God, present your body as a living sacrifice. And what the writer wants us to do is look back. I'm going to give you just a little heads up. He wants you to look back and see how blessed you have been by the salvation message and the salvation of God. And so one of the things you ought to recognize is that you and I have been grafted into this tree. God's tree. Let's say it that way. Now, we are the wild olives. Now, Paul goes on to say, if I could run over to verse 24, for if you were cut off from what is by nature a wild olive tree and were grafted contrary to nature into a cultivated olive tree. Now, I read that to say this, because the tree that we're grafted into is a cultivated tree. We are wild olive branches, and it really goes contrary to nature. You don't take a bad branch and graft it into, now this might sound mixed up. You don't take a bad branch and graft it into a good tree, is what the horticulturalists say. But it is the opposite of it. But what God does is he takes the bad branch and he grafts it into a what? A good tree. So he says, don't get it twisted, Gentile people. Though I have grafted you in, don't you think that you can disobey me and be obstinate in rejecting what Christ has done and think that you can't be what? Set aside.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me back up. Because this cut off and this set aside stuff is not something that deals with personal relationship, but it dealt with Israel as a nation. So it has nothing to do with personal salvation, you individually being cut off. He is talking about the nation of Israel and then all Gentile people alike. So don't get it. That's where we get messed up in trying to interpret this text, because then we'll look at it in that vein where we say, okay, you can lose salvation because he just said you can be cut off right here. Cut off means to be set aside. But let me get back on my point. Don't get it twisted, because it's only by the grace of God that you and I have been grafted into this tree. And it's not of your own doing. You were dead. You were cut off from Jump Street. You were dead on your way to hell, but God in his mercy, and because of the rejection of Christ by the Jewish nation, gave you and me the opportunity to accept Christ. Now we are grafted in to a tree that gives life. And don't you get it twisted again. Don't think that you bring life to the tree. There is life that gives you life from the approved. I didn't say that the way I wanted to. Look at verse 25. For I do not want you, brethren, to be uninformed of the mystery, so that you will not be wise in your own estimation, that a partial hardening has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come. You know what that simply means? I gotta stop. Simply means that there's a partial hardening for the nation of Israel. Okay. Some things they don't understand, there's things they can't see, so that the Gentiles can come to salvation. Now, guess what? God's going to lift that veil, but guess when he's going to lift that veil? At the end of verse 25, until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. So guess what? What Bill said, you and I got to be about God's business. Yeah. Look, you want Jesus Christ to come back? Now, this sounds facetious, but go home, take off your pretty clothes, put on some tennis shoes, and start knocking door to door and passing out tracts, so you can get as many Gentiles saved as you can. Amen. See, I knew that sound crazy. Amen. But that's what the text says, because in this dispensation, we are here to point people to Jesus Christ, and when the fullness of the Gentiles come, then he lifts up the veil from the Israelite people, and now he begins to work with them, and at that time we are raptured out of here. Amen. Now this is a mixture message. It's hard to show you how it applies to us and then show you eschatology, that God is coming back for his church, but until he does, we got to get to this fullness of the Gentile. Amen. Now, I know it sounded crazy knocking door to door, but the point of it is simply this, is that be about witnessing on every corner, when I say corner, in every opportunity of your life. Yeah. Amen. Stop living life just saying, oh, how I can get over, how God's going to help me through, and how God's going to deal with this. I guarantee you, you start witnessing about the grace of God, and guess what? God is going to give you the grace you need to handle whatever it is you're dealing with in your life. Amen. Tell somebody the good news of Jesus Christ. Do like Paul. Let them know you're proof. Man, I don't believe God exists. Look, what are you looking at? Look at me. I am proof that God exists. Yeah. Amen. Because he saved my soul. Amen. And then I close with this. Verses 33. He says, oh, the depths of the riches, both the wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are the judgments and unfathomable his ways. Who has known the mind of the Lord? Who became his counselor? What he does there in verses 33 through 36 is he gives a doxology. Doxologies normally come at the end of a message, at the end of a speech. But Paul, which is one of his, the things that he kind of does, is he can put a doxology wherever he gets happy. Okay. What a doxology is a hymn or a song to express praise to God. And I imagine as Paul began to reflect on the goodness of God and how God had saved and spared him, but how God had also used him to reach the Gentile people, Paul got happy and he began to say, oh, the depths and the riches of the mercy of God. And that ought to make you celebrate. That ought to make us shout. When you recognize and look back how far God has brought you, or how far God had to reach down and get some of it. I can tell some of y'all look like you were sitting on the communion table. God didn't have been down, baby. Some of us been down in the gutter. Some of us been down to play handball against the curb. Some of us, we don't even want to share the life that we had. But Paul said, oh, the riches and the depth of God's mercy. What can wash away my sins? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Makes you want to sing a song sometimes. I know life is hard. Yeah. I know you're sick. Yeah. I know the medicine ain't working. Doctors galore. I know messed up your money. I know kids done your best you could. Still, I understand. But you're saved. Yeah. By his power, divine saved. To do life, divine life now is sweet. And my joy is complete. Amen. Not because I got a lot of money. Not because I got help. But because I was saved. Saved. Oh, if I could say it. Found a friend. It's all to
loved me. His love is ever true. That's all I can remember right there. But oh, I know this. When you're saved, you'll have joy.
Amen.
Let's pray. Father, thank you today for your grace and your mercy. Thank you for the word of God today.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you for the people of God, Lord, as we
Thank you.
seek to be better Christians, Lord,
Yeah.
to understand your message and understand your story. Thank you for redemption. Thank you for the resurrection. Help us to be about telling others. Lord, let us not be forcibly, but just be a habit. And when we get the opportunity to ask somebody, do they know Jesus? Let us not be ashamed anymore, but give us holy boldness to proclaim him and to exalt him as the risen Savior. Now, Lord, somebody might be here this morning that doesn't know Christ, forgiveness of their sins. Lord, we offer this opportunity today. Give their life to you, to be forgiven of all of their sins, to be proof now to their families, friends, co-workers of what God can do when a life is surrendered to you. Bless now your results. They're in your hands in Jesus' name. Every head bowed, every eye closed. Is that you?